Welcome to the Quick Stop F1 podcast. My name is Nyasha and you could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us. We appreciate that. Joining me today is my co-host and co-founder. They say she's the most moisturized content creator in F1, but she may also today be the most smug F1 content creator in the world. Is none other than Tandy. I was right, Sibanda. How's it going?
I'm doing good, thanks.
Yeah. Oh God! So much applause.
No,
oh my God!
go.
Stop.
Let run.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh my God! No, it's
continue.
enough.
No,
Enough.
It's okay.
How are you doing? You all right?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Mate, I'm absolutely, I'm good. I'm not bad. Enjoy the race.
Loved it. How did you enjoy the race?
Yeah, I did. I did enjoy the race, and we will get into the various enjoyments and non-enjoyments. But it's not about us. It's about our guest. And joining us for the first time is what I can only describe as Black British podcast royalty right now. Okay, this guy's just come back from New York, hanging out with Dipset. I don't even know. I don't know why he's coming down with us, commoners to grace us, but we appreciate it. He's a massive F1 fan, and I'm glad we were able to get it sorted. Welcome to the show from the 90s Baby podcast. It is Temi. How are you doing?
All good. Glad to be here.
Temi.
Glad to be. I'm a big fan, guys. Big fan. Big
That's
fan.
so nice.
Thank you. The feeling's mutual, and yeah, I guess for you, how did you enjoy it? I know we were talking off camera, but I guess did you enjoy the Miami Grand Prix?
I loved it. Like I just love the fact that Max didn't win, of course. I'm not a hater of Max, but it was just nice to see something new. And Lando's broke his own record. And shout out to Tandy who was saying, don't speak on his name like that. Put respect on his name. I saw it. So I really enjoyed it. I'm sure we'll go into more depth.
They all saw it. It's fine. A lot of people saw it.
Hey. I really enjoyed it.
You know what's crazy? Like, as soon as that safety car incident happened, like my heart dropped into my chest because I was like, Lando's going to win this race. And not that I was like upset that Lando's going to win, but I just knew that a certain someone would come in here.
No, guys. He's not upset. He's not, right. He wasn't upset. The upset within him came from the fact that he knows that he put me in a place on that one episode. By the way, I went back to go watch that episode and oh my God, Nyasha, you cornered me on that podcast episode and made me seem like I was saying bullshit. Like everything that was coming out of my mouth was absolute rubbish.
This is crazy.
Do you know what? That's what you felt within you because you knew for a fact that I would come on this podcast and call you out for what you were saying to me on the previous one.
This is crazy.
That's what it was in the bottom of your stomach. You're not being gaslit. Don't start.
I'm being gaslit. Right now. I literally said I rate Lando Norris. It doesn't matter that he doesn't have any wins. He's a very good driver. Just that in certain situations he has failed to deliver on the promise.
Right, okay. Yeah, and what happened in this situation, there was a... No, don't laugh, because I'm talking.
This is crazy.
There was a red... It's not crazy. Why is it crazy? Because you're allowed to call me out, so why can't I call you out? Well, it's not crazy.
Okay,
talk, Danny.
No, please, carry on.
Like, don't start a narrative about me just because I've come to, gloat. Don't.
No, please carry on.
No, I don't want to.
Okay.
I love it. I love that. That was typical.
Lando Norris did indeed win his first F1 race this weekend. A long time coming, 110 races. I guess, Temi, for you, where did you sit on the Lando Norris, what seems like the Lando Norris debate? Where, have you always been a fan? Were there doubts for you? I guess, what are your thoughts on
I think
that?
he's always been a talent, and for sure, like, people have seen him as the golden boy, and he's next in terms of like British driving as well. We kind of overlook George, like we just look at Lando. I didn't like the way he was talking to Lewis at one point. I didn't like that. I didn't like that. That wasn't very nice. But of course, that's just the competition in the paddock. But I've always I could always see that he is a good driver. He's bottled it a few times, granted, but everybody does at some point. But
yeah,
long time coming, 15 podiums without a win. It's about time. About time.
Yeah, no, and I think it was always like a case of. It was always a case of when rather than if it was going to happen. I think we all knew, if he did have the car to do it, that he's got the talent to do it. I guess, Temi, you said something now. I guess I'll pick up on that with you, Tandy. What I saw on social media afterwards was, I think, I didn't realize the depth to which certain fans of F1 don't fuck with Lando Norris. I think I tweeted out like, I'm happy for Lando that he's finally got it done. Fair play to him. And the response to that was less than good. And then just kind of scrolling the timeline and just seeing like people really kind of like upset that he'd won. And I guess, part of that is, I think, some of the backhanded stuff that he has said to Lewis in the past. And, some of the, I would say, some of the ways that his sense of humor is very dry and very kind of like British. And I don't think that comes across well. But I guess for you, do you, what is it about Lando Norris that you like so much? I guess to counter that, and not get into it. What is it that you saw? What is it that you saw in Lando Norris?
I think I can definitely like separate the person from kind of like what I see of Lando. I always remind people things that are online don't actually exist in real life, and there are stuff that. Obviously, I'm a massive Lewis fan. That's no denying anything. But there's stuff I've seen him say about Lewis. And I've seen catty comments from all drivers across the grid. But then what I saw yesterday was Lewis congratulating Lando, kind of what looked like banter to me. And so it's deeper than rap from what you guys are seeing on the timeline versus what's actually going on. We don't know what goes on in their phones, obviously. And obviously, as a Lewis fan, those comments did not sit right with me. And I've called them out on the podcast before. But yeah, definitely in saying what you were saying, yesterday I definitely saw a different side to F1 Twitter that I obviously don't exist in, where people don't actually like Lando Norris. And it was interesting to kind of see what team they supported and what angle they were coming from. But obviously there's different sides of sport in Twitter already where you see like people might not like Pierre Gasly or, Lewis Hamilton within himself. I've been on that side of Twitter, and people definitely think that's like the growing sensation in the heads. And so I think for when I came on the pod and I was like openly like a Lando Norris fan, everyone was like, it's a bit weird because you're this and this and this. But I just want to let you know there's realms within sport fandom that other people don't exist in, and there's people like us who exist. And again, obviously to get back to your answer why I like Lando, I've always been a Lando fan. I think out of the British drivers between him and GR, he's the one I prefer. I think I prefer a villain in most circumstances. Lando is definitely a villain at times. Do I support anything he says about Lewis Hamilton? Of course the fuck not. But do I want to see someone who I think had talent and has the drive and has had so many people, including like people on this podcast who said like, I don't think he can do it, or I don't think he's got that drive, or he'll never get that win, to then get that fucking win is an absolute glory to see. Do you know what? Like, so don't come on here and say that you had a feeling in the pit of your stomach because you knew what it was. You knew you were going to get an ass whooping for talking to me the way that you spoke to me, like I was crazy for ever assuming that he would ever get a pit. But it's all right. It's all right not to be gaslit. It's all right to not come on the pod and be saying, oh, this person said when Tani comes on the podcast, she's sad, or whatever, this, or you're a delight to work with. Yes, I like Lando Norris, and I am going to give you the ass whooping because I was right about what I said, that he was going to get that win one day, and he did. Even better is, because I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, you got the red flag and the safety car, but you know what, like, the narrative that a lot of people were pushing is that he bottles it. He didn't bottle it this time round. He kept that position. And for that, I'm proud to be a Lando Norris fan today. Thank you.
Damn. Have you guys been keeping up with like the rap beef? She's whipping feet right now.
Bro,
she's whipping feet.
Come on.
She's whipping feet. Damn.
Bro, Tani's got black Air Forces today. Jesus.
I'd also like to note that Chris put in the group chat, he's a joke, no wins now and forever. Christopher, speak to me after.
Receipts.
Because you said that.
Oh, man.
Somebody
do have
said,
to point
I'm
out,
still
though,
waiting to see it personally. He needs to step up and be mature in situations where it's fight or flight. Nyasha, that was 7 minutes and 17 seconds into the video. Do you feel like he's now...
Jesus Christ! Oh my God! What is this?
5 p.m. in London.
Are we actually...
Sorry.
Are we doing this? Are we?
It's done. It's done.
I
He got the win.
Can't believe we're fighting in front of Temi. This is crazy. Like,
we're not fighting. No one's fighting.
Okay.
No one's fighting.
Wow. Okay. Wow.
Don't feel attacked.
Wow. I think what I would say is that all we have to go on is the evidence of what we've had in the past, right? And I think if someone is first in a sprint race and then ends up 8th in a sprint race for their own fault, then you would say that person has bottled it. So I think, so I don't think it was a harsh assessment to say that. And I think what happened on that on the Bottled podcast was, I think, a fair analysis of, I think, to be fair, everyone's getting smoked. The person you need to have smoke with is Tasha. Like,
don't worry, I've got 9 times first. Don't worry, I've got my notes.
Get your Tasha notes out. You're getting at me. Like, I was the one defending him. I hear it. So essentially. Yeah, so essentially, and I think I'm really happy. I'm actually, like I said, I'm happy for him because he can put that to bed. And I think Formula One, and Temi, you might agree with this. Formula One, I think, as much as any sport, maybe more, is super narrative driven. Like, once there's like a narrative set in place for someone, it almost becomes like a self-fulfilling prophecy in ways for certain things and certain people. Look at for example, Yuki Tsunoda, a great example of his mentality and his the way he speaks on the radio and all of that, and how that kind of then seeps into people's analysis of him as a racing driver, and even the fact that he's calmed down this season, people still point out the fact that on the radio he can be like sometimes angry, and that that narrative kind of fuels perception. And I think with Lando, I think the same thing. I said to Chris in the now infamous car ride from the circuit to the live show that you can't judge a young driver for just because he hasn't won races on whether they are a good driver or not. So I guess Temi, I guess for you, what's the ceiling for Lando Norris? I guess, do you think he's very evidently locked into McLaren? And I don't think I can't see him moving unless there's situations that arrive in the future where, let's say, for example, Verstappen leaves Red Bull, and I think maybe we all know Helmut Marko is a massive fan of him, and maybe even, Mercedes, if a position comes up there in like the next couple of years, maybe, whatever. But he's locked into McLaren on a death row contract, and he seems pretty happy there. Do you think that Lando Norris can become a world champion and I guess fulfill the promise that he's shown at McLaren?
That's a very good question. I haven't even thought that far ahead. I was like, is he going to get another win this year? And now we're talking about, is he going to be a world champion? I do think he can. And I like where the season's going, even though fair enough, it's just been like one speck of like this amazing moment. They really brought upgrades and they smashed it. They really, really smashed it. And that's not the end. There's still going to be loads more bigger packages to come. So not to say it's going to happen this year, but it's like he's proven that loyalty to McLaren. So he's got that kind of place that he knows. They know him. They're going to work around him. He's the star driver.
Yeah.
Good teammate as well. I think it's possible, but we just have to see, can McLaren continue this consistency? Like we've seen them bring a package and do well, and then just near the end, it just starts to tail off. It's happened before. So it's like, and we've also seen Aston smash it last year, and then where were they after the upgrades and stuff? So it's like, it looks promising, but this is really just like the tiniest light that we can see like coming out of the tunnel. Like we don't know what's really going to happen moving forward, but definitely a prospect. And he has the ability, but can McLaren deliver that car? Because that is super important.
Yeah, and we'll see. It's not often that customer teams win world championships, and we're going into a new set of regulations in 2026 where the engine regulations are set to change, and obviously if word on the street is to be believed, Mercedes are doing pretty well with how they're building their 2026 engine, and so you never know, especially given how bad Mercedes are aerodynamically at the moment, and I guess we'll get to that. I guess I'll put that question to you, Tandy, then, I guess, in terms of what Temi said about this season, right? We are starving as an F1 fan base for something, anything to kind of cling on to grip into, storylines, narratives. And Sunday and Saturday, to be fair, offered us a level of entertainment that I think we've been dying out for so long. How confident are you that this could be like a general trend as the season goes? Pardon?
Like, you mean like a streak? Like this could keep going? Or?
I mean, just that, maybe. I know, Simon on Sky Sports kept asking, like, could this be the start of like someone taking it to Red Bull? Because they won on pace today. Obviously, Verstappen did have some floor damage, but I think, he was struggling to pull away from Oscar Piastri in that first stint. And, then you look at, obviously afterwards, and, I think even without that floor damage, he would have struggled to stay ahead of Lando Norris.
7.6 seconds. Come on. He gapped him. Yeah. He dropped him. He dropped it.
I think again, to quote what like Tasha had said, was that the goal for a lot of these athletes shouldn't be to kind of, because I think Lando had said like my goal is to kind of be after Max, and she was saying that the goal shouldn't be after Max. But I feel like a lot of drivers are in that position where they'll never be better or like cross anywhere near Max. But we're slowly seeing more drivers kind of reach further to the top, reach closer. I saw Piastri with his elbows out a lot this weekend. Loved that from him. Could be see like Piastri do a little bit better, not really a podium, but maybe do a bit better, possibly. And I think it is quite nice to see. I think as the season is going, we obviously know who's going to win. But I think between as these races go, it's nice to see drivers kind of shed light, give themselves a spotlight, maybe for 3 races, 2 races, 1 race even. Do I think Lando's going to now be on this winning streak or whatever? No. Do I think he's going to win a championship? No. But it's quite nice to see the people who you've always known have potential kind of show off that potential. It's almost like when we saw Sainz, who a lot of us had kind of like turned our heads away from, kind of shine and, get an actual podium and completely show off. it's nice to see people shine and kind of get their golden star in that little moment. You know, you have little moments within this Formula One thing where you see Zhou on the floor crying, and it's all, even though he didn't win, China was about him. Do you know what I mean? So I like this thing where we kind of celebrate other people in their own little rights and their own little wins. But yeah, you've got to obviously keep eye on the prize. But as far as the prize goes, saying anyone's a champion or could win a champion within the next 2 years, for me, just doesn't seem viable. Yeah.
No, for sure. You know, and yeah, you're right on the science thing. You know, imagine if someone came in with like all of the quotes that people in this podcast have said about Carlos Sainz and just started attacking him.
Even on the science thing,
it's crazy, right? It's crazy.
But even on the science thing, it's like I've never not said Sainz had it in him. I've always been like, it's a disappointment. Do you know what I mean? Like that he doesn't have it in him. And then I put my hands up when he won. I said, all right, cool. I'm ready to put my hands up where I can. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is healthy. This is healthy conversation.
Before shooting them. Before, you know,
why would I do that?
Hands up.
You don't do that to me.
You'll shoot first. Ask questions later. That's the only issue. Okay. Well, look. Congratulations to Lando Norris. Hands up. I was wrong.
That's all right. No, do you know what, Nyash? Yeah. You were right about what you said. You did come on. You said, for me, it's more, I want you to do better. And I just wanted to clarify a few things that I maybe failed to say on that episode that I can now kind of say now, or like things I'd written down that I didn't end up saying. Do you know what I mean? Don't feel attacked.
No, it's fine.
Do you know what that reminds me of? That's like when you have an argument with like your partner and like you think of all the things you could have said afterwards. And he actually got a chance to spin the block. This is brilliant. This is brilliant.
Yeah. It was a nice moment. It was a really nice moment. Thank you. Do I think Lando Norris is like the Lord and Savior and he's going to free us all? No, he's not going to free us. Don't come and text me or inbox me about, Lando's... I didn't say he was going to free us all. We're still under a dictatorship.
Well, speaking of, I guess, dictatorships... Lando Norris was congratulated by a special guest at the Miami Grand Prix. Donald Trump was in attendance.
Oh, yeah.
And I put a tweet out that said that the keep politics out of sport crowd are very quiet at the moment, given that we have someone looking to run for president walking around in a Make America Great Again hat at F1, invited by the same person who, if we remember, Mohammed Ben Salem banned... it wasn't actually Mohammed, it was the FIA, so... I'm not going to put that on Mohammed Ben, but the FIA banned drivers from making any political statements, can't wear any T-shirts, can't say anything political, and that includes before and after races as well. Pardon?
Can't take the knee.
Yeah, exactly. Can't take the knee. Obviously, we want to keep politics out of sport, and then obviously we have someone in Donald Trump. And look, if you look at Donald Trump's rap sheet, this guy, has hidden... or taken classified documents to his house. This guy was pretty much front and center inciting a civil war and literal attempted overthrow of the government and political establishment. Obviously, you've got...
Wasn't he impeached? I don't know. Did it end up happening?
He was impeached. I need
to
talk.
Trial around there. I'm not
sure maybe Chris.
Anyway,
yes, he was impeached.
He was impeached. He's the first American
multiple
president to
times.
There you go.
Yeah. This guy has sexual assault allegations against him. This guy,
and he has his ex-wife buried in one of his golf courses.
You what?
Yeah. Did you not know that?
Oh my goodness! No, I did not know that.
Is buried in his golf course.
Wait.
Ivana Trump.
Wait.
Is it Ivanka?
Are you sure?
Who's his ex-wife?
Ivanka's alive.
Ivanka's alive. Yeah.
Oh, is that his daughter? Don't let me spread it. One of the white women that surround him is buried in his garden.
Oh my God.
No, it's Ivana. See,
so wait, has he got?
you know
has he
what? I
got,
should
has he
actually
got a
stand
wife?
on my own
Honestly.
beliefs. His
Hey, you was
first
right the
wife,
first time, man.
He was right.
Yeah.
Oh, bless.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to bury her anywhere. Anyway, look, that's neither here nor there.
Anyway.
What I was trying to say was, that this is not, and no matter where you stand on the political divide, you know, I think everything is becoming so polarized these days about, you know, left or right or whatever. And I guess, you know, we all have our rights to believe whatever we want. But this is not someone, I would think, that given their rap sheet and given who they are, that you would want to invite to your race, especially if you're looking to appeal to a younger audience, a more diverse audience. And if diversity and we race as one actually matter, if you look at some of the things Donald Trump has said and done, both before, during, and after his presidency, it's not really someone who you would put as a bastion for, you know, for equal rights, for diversity and whatever. There's been a bit of furore because he requested to go to the McLaren garage, and McLaren accepted that and gave him a tour. And then obviously Mohammed Ben Salem took Donald Trump afterwards to congratulate Lando. And Lando had the following to say, which I think people are upset about. So Trump congratulated Norris after his maiden win. That was an honor, said Lando. For someone like this to take time out of their life to pay respect for what you've done. He said he was my lucky charm. Don't know if he comes to more races now. It was a cool moment.
Oh, no. Yeah.
Honestly, I swear we asked Lando about racism once and he said some absolute bullshit. Like, I swear we asked him about world hunger and he's like, I'm sorry. When pressing issues are happening, Lando Norris is the last person we should ask. And I'd ask Daniel Ricciardo before I asked Lando Norris for any perspective on anything politically aware. Like, no. This is what I mean. Like, you have to separate the driver from the person.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah. And I guess Temi, like, where do you stand on, I guess, the Donald Trump thing? I think, you know, F1, if any sport was going to be right-leaning or conservative in values or whatever, you know, F1 is probably that. And, you know, if we're talking about from a pure marketing perspective, you know, you're in Florida, which is essentially MAGA country, respectfully to all Floridians, then, you know, the exposure that Donald Trump is going to have at your race is incredible.
Huge. I think it's I don't do too much of the American politics, but we know America's a simulation. We know it's a fake place. We don't even understand how this place can exist. Like, someone like that can run for president, have all the issues that he's had, have all the, like, spew all the things that he actually spews out there, and still be able to run for president whilst he's on trial and all these kind of things going on, right? I'm just so annoyed that he picked the right garage. I'm so annoyed that he somehow managed to pick the right team and Lando wins.
Yeah.
And it's like, apparently he was looking for space to do like a campaign.
Yeah, he wanted to do a fundraiser.
Right. So it's kind of like, that was a great thing for his campaign. And then you've got Lando, who doesn't really have a Scooby, so it doesn't really matter to him. The guy's rich and he's driving, and you know, these things don't really matter to him. I always would rather these guys just shut their mouth and not really talk about it, because you're just going to end up either disrespecting or just, you're not going to know. There's a level of ignorance that you have being in your position in life, especially when it comes to like politics. Like, you're quite protected. Like, you wear Richard Mille every single day. Like, you're all right. You're fine. We don't want to hear that. Like that, you know, Donald Trump was your lucky charm. Just tell us that the cut on your nose was the lucky charm, you know? Like, I tell us that, you know, maybe I should lose my appendix, like Carlos Sainz or something. Like, don't tell us that this orange man is your lucky charm. I don't want to hear that.
Even for like your own reputation. Like, tell us something else. Like, I'll be like, all right, get yourself a sponsorship. It's such a quick moment to get a sponsorship. Be like, oh, it was Prime. Now you're cool with KSI and them, man. Like, you know, this is why they should never give me money.
Yeah, well, I think both of us, but the amount of stuff we have to edit out of this thing, I think we both realised that our mouths would probably not be too good with that kind of exposure. I think, you know what? I think for me, it's a real failure. I think
huge.
F1's always going to be F1, and I think, you know, if you're looking for salvation and morals and upstanding principles within this sport, then you are lost. Like, honest to God, go and watch like bowls or something. Like, honest, like, because this is not the sport for you. I mean, cricket's to be fair, cricket's got its own like. So, oh mate, cricket's dark. Yeah.
If you're looking for anything to do like morale on politics, you don't go to sport, basically.
Yeah, no,
you don't go to sport.
Don't go to high-level sport. By all means, play sport, because that's like the most childlike freedom you'll ever experience in your life. It's just playing sport. But watching a $1 billion industry, which is essentially founded upon the most ridiculous capitalist values. Guys, this is Formula One. Whether you like it or not, you think Donald Trump is sports washing. I can look at 10, 12 countries on that calendar and tell you how they're using F1 to sports wash.
Right.
And I could include UK and America in that as well. So
especially
I think,
UK and America. Get them niggas top of the list.
100%. You know what? Fire for that. Not drum roll, not drum joke. Wow, I'm struggling today. You know what? Tanny's got me rattled. So yeah, sports washing is such a common thing within sport. Donald Trump using that is fine. I think McLaren, again, if any team on that grid was going to accept that invitation, McLaren, 50 sponsors, capitalist venture, Arrows F1 were always going to be going. Zach Brown,
of course.
Like, you know, it was always going to be a good fit in that sense. And I think, where I'm disappointed in McLaren is that I just wish they'd briefed Lando a little bit before that happened and kind of said, if you do come into contact with Trump.
Do you think they care?
You know what? And that's the thing. They don't care. And even when I was saying that, I was like, you know what?
You don't even believe that shit.
You know what? I don't know.
You're believing that there's someone like you behind the scenes, like, oh wait, someone should tell Lando that Trump is coming. Like,
someone should tell Lando that if he wins, like, he shouldn't say that he's close to it. No, they were probably like, yeah, Lando. Wouldn't that be awesome if you and Trump got a picture on your first win?
Right. Yeah. Zach sounded happy, like, oh yeah, he asked me to come and I let him in. Like, they were happy. This is a great moment.
Yeah. And you know what? I guess it just, again, really highlights, I guess, the kind of discrepancy between who I am and I guess how a lot of people are as people and I guess the sport that we follow. And I think you do have to have that cognitive dissonance and just to kind of just be like, the sport is a sport.
Yeah.
It's fuckeries everywhere. But, you know, again, we have to, I think if you don't remove that from like the sporting side of it, you will be perpetually pissed off.
Of course.
And
of course.
I don't think I have time
for
that. Okay. How to do? Oh, actually, before I get into the stars and donkeys, Temi.
Yeah.
Again, off camera, we were talking about the the weekend and how much we enjoyed it. I think Stefano Domenicali this weekend, well, not this weekend, kind of stated a few things. One of them was that there's potentially going to be more, pardon me, going to be more sprint races.
Yeah.
How are you with sprint races? I feel like they divide opinion a lot. I know Tasha.
Oh, we know how Tasha feels about it.
Yeah, Tasha can't stand them.
Yeah.
I know a lot of other people can't stand them. I love them.
Yeah.
Where do you fall on the sprint race? Because I think the last two sprint races have provided at least some level of entertainment, where it wasn't purely processional.
Hey, listen, go ask Daniel Ricciardo if he likes a sprint race. Those gave him his first points this year, you know? Me personally, I like it because I'm not a fan of practices. I'm not a fan of that. I would rather watch a sprint race. And it kind of gives me a reason to be like, okay, let me see what's going on. There might be some points on board. Maybe Lewis might get some points today. You know what I mean? Like, I like the kind of sense of, hey, it's a shorter race. We might be able to do something, and then we might be able to stay ahead before anyone catches us. You know what I mean? But I don't say I enjoy them all the time. I do understand where the drivers speak of, you know, hey, this is a lot of stress on us. It's a lot of stress on the personnel. It's a lot of stress on the team. And then, like, Stefano was just like, hey, you don't have to race if you don't want to. Like, it's up to you. F you, basically.
The big man, like, if you don't want to do it, just go.
So I'm personally, I will say I'm for it. I'm not for too many. But if they're going to be like this, where, hey, you get a bit of a chance to see something different, and then sometimes the Grand Prix is actually going to change, because a lot of the times, the sprint races sometimes can just show what's going to happen in the Grand Prix.
Yeah.
But this one was a complete shock. So we got a different result there. Daniel Ricciardo was there. Next thing you know, he's at the back of the grid.
Yeah.
And then you got Lando winning, and then you got this whole fight. Shout out to Kevin Magnussen. What a legend. But I like it. I do like it. Not too many, but I do like it.
Yeah. No, I'm notorious for watching every session. I love practice, purely just because I do. It's almost like, I guess Tandy mentioned cricket earlier. I love test cricket, and that can sometimes be 5 days.
That is the cricket that they try. That is
So test cricket is like it's cricket, and it's played over a maximum of 5 days, and you can have, basically, it's 2 innings each, and you have to get everyone out. So, and there's no limit on the amount of balls that you can bowl to get that person out. But it can take 5 days.
I went to watch cricket this weekend.
Oh
yeah.
Wow. 2020?
What?
Was it?
I know where we're at now.
Just turned up.
Over here now.
So, do you know the name of the team you went to watch?
No.
Okay. So, how did you find it though? Did you enjoy
it was interesting because my brothers used to, I feel like, because I was going to get into how I feel like Zim people love cricket. My brothers used to play a lot of cricket.
Yeah.
All I know is that a cricket ball is really hard, and I know how to throw a cricket ball as well.
It's very hard.
Yeah, extremely.
It's very hard. There was one time we were playing cricket at school, and we were fucking around with the cricket ball, and someone bowled it to me, and I hit it with a bat, and it went straight into one of the teachers' cars and made biggest fucking dent.
Oh,
horrible.
No, he was not happy. I can't remember the point I was making now.
You're talking about sprint races, right?
So I like that kind of building up of sprint race, and then, FP1 normally like long run stuff, FP2 normally like, you'll get some quality stuff in there, or depending on if it's like a night race, and then FP3 you're gonna have whatever, and you kind of see a car develop over a weekend, and then you get to qualifying, and then you get So I do understand people who like that. However, I just can't. I think the issue with people have with sprint races is that sometimes in F1 it's really difficult to overtake. So if it's difficult to overtake over 70 laps, when you take away tyre degradation, what's the point in having like a 30 lap race, right? But I think with the way the tyres are this year and how close it is, we are seeing like some pretty good action, and they are going for it, these guys. And I think the change to the format where you've got like the sprint and then it's qualifying afterwards, I think that's I think Saturdays now where you've got a sprint race and then qualifying used to be like the most exciting thing, and now it's actually a little bit of a damp squib now because you
just had a sprint race.
You've had the excitement. Yeah, you've had a race and now you're into qualifying, and qualifying doesn't seem as dramatic anymore. So I think there's still work to be done to tweak it. But yeah, no, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I was going to reserve this, but I can't actually hold on to this hate anymore. Can we talk about Kevin Magnussen, please?
You know what?
The gift that keeps on giving.
The gift that keeps on giving. Thank you, Kendrick, for inspiring all my peoples to really embrace the hate. Bring it out of you, please.
Oh, man, I hate the way that you drive, the way that you do.
I hate the way that you drive.
Oh, my God. Kevin Magnussen, God, how often am I going to come on this podcast and tell you this guy is cheeks? I'm done. Like, honestly, it's bad enough. Like,
oh, man.
You know, and again, this narrative thing and this thing of everyone knows with K-Mag, you're going to get like a hard race. Like, if you want to get that place, you're going to have to, take it from his cold, dead fingers because he's going to go down fighting. And we love that. I love that. But it's now venturing into like ridiculousness.
Yeah.
During the sprint race, Lewis having to deal with all manners of rubbish. There was one moment which gave me like war flashbacks of Max and Lewis in 2021.
Oh, no.
Where someone's just, when Lewis was getting driven off into Venezuela in Brazil or, the first corner, I said, the Abu Dhabi or Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
And obviously the incident which benefited Lando Norris where he trying to go up the inside of that corner during the race against, I guess, Logan Sargent and taking him out. Temi, he now has 10
penalty points.
And if he gets another 2, I can't remember when the deadline is, but if he gets another 2, he's
2025 in March.
2025?
March 2025,
he's getting a race ban. Oh my God. Thoughts on Kevin Magnussen's performance this weekend?
So if I'm approaching it from a fan perspective, then I'm like, yeah, this guy's horrible. Maybe get him out of there. If I'm approaching it from an entertainment perspective, my goodness me, this guy is. I think Stefano's like, come on, keep going. We'll add as much sprint races as you want. Keep going. Because we need to remember, it is a business first. That's why we have all this issue with sprint races. They added tiebreakers into tennis. They added 2020 cricket. So to make it interesting. So when you got someone like Kevin Magnussen, that is like literally being the ultimate teammate, like holding up the grid, like Haas are doing a great job, by the way. I think Haas have been great. Nasty tactics so be it, but I think it's been great to watch just this team that was, under Gunter was doing absolutely nothing, and then you got Komatsu just come in and bang. Kevin Magnussen, of course, horrible tactics. I expected Lewis to kind of blaze him a bit, but I think Lewis is just on that vibe of, I'm going to Ferrari, it's fine. Great tactics, we love it, good job. So I'm not a fan of it, but it was funny to just watch someone just self-destruct and spiral. And just spiral.
Yeah, his head was hot under that helmet. You could tell. And no, you're right. Look, Temi said, Kevin Magnussen, no one knows what he means, but he's provocative. Gets the people going.
Kevin Magnussen fans, K-Mag fans.
K-Mag.
K-Mag. Do you ever wonder about what happened to the kid who was licking glitter in school? They became a K-Mag fan, clearly. What? What? Like you enjoy? What do you enjoy?
There was always one like sniffing glue, right?
Do you know what I mean? Like the one who was like putting a prick stick on their fingers and just peeling it off.
Yeah.
That's what they did. They became K-Mag fans and they love the chaos and they love to just watch destruction. Tandy.
Yeah.
What were you going to ask?
No, I was just going to ask.
K-Mag?
Yeah, thoughts on K-Mag. Okay. Let's do stars of the day. So maybe this is part of the show where stars, I guess we do stars of the weekend, I guess, because you've got spin races. So maybe things that you want to account for in there. But I guess who was your star of the weekend?
Star of the weekend. I want to be controversial, but I don't think I can give it to anyone but Lando, man. You got to give it to him. I mean, he didn't even have the best sprint, to be fair. But, you know, for him to finally get that pole, for him to drive that well, and also we need to remember that he got this win without Max having a DNF. Like, he absolutely dropped that Red Bull. Granted, they might say, oh, the floor was damaged because he went into the bollard and all this kind of stuff. He dropped him. 7.6 seconds, he dropped him. Max was complaining about the car. Like, he dropped him. He drove well. He wasn't like a George Russell that when he's got that opportunity, he might crash the car. Like, because we've seen George do that and just bottle it when he has an opportunity. Bottling has come from George.
Wake that up.
Yeah. I'll never forget that. I couldn't believe it when I watched that live. But, you know...
Oh, they're going to love you on this podcast.
Oh, goodness me. Yeah.
Our listeners are going to love you.
But I think he has to be the star, man. He's made history there. Take off that Trump stuff, but it'll be the star. It'll be the star for me.
Okay, lovely. Tandy.
Yeah.
Star of the day?
I'm going to also give it to Lando Norris as well. I think all in all, after that safety car, I think a lot of people, again, thought that he wasn't going to, really push through and kind of show off what he has. I'm surprised that he even kept that mentality to keep going and not so much have like a childish mentality, which is what a lot of people think he has. So really happy he did that. I'm going to also just say McLaren in general. I think Oscar Piastri, again, had his elbows out a lot throughout this weekend and he was doing amazing. I love
good drive.
Oscar Piastri, guys.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah, no, he's a good egg. And I think he is fortunate for Lando and really unfortunate for Piastri because obviously, when all of that was shaking out, he was in second, third. And, if you look at like the pace that McLaren had, unfortunately with the safety car, he ended up, with all the pits and stuff, he ended up further back. And then he had obviously Carlos Sainz being a terrorist. So, I think Oscar Piastri, and I think it was good to see Oscar execute it in a race. I think we've seen his qualifying be good, and then his tire management kind of lets him down in race pace, and you see that he's miles off whatever Norris is doing. But this weekend he really did show a lot of promise, so that was really good.
Bianca Bustamante did well this weekend as well, I think.
Yes, she did.
She did.
Oh, nice.
She did.
McLaren's are on fire, and I love that.
Yeah,
no, she was all up in the cameras. The camera guy could not get enough of her this weekend.
Really beautiful. That's one thing about Bianca. Bianca's really beautiful, even though she does say something. Anyway.
Yeah, that was she said some stupid shit.
Yeah, but I think it must just run in the family. You see, like they say some stupid shit, but they be doing stuff apart from Piastri. I'm just waiting for him to,
So, you know what? I'm going to give my star of the day to Lewis Hamilton.
He was up there for me as well, to be fair.
Go ahead. Stick by your goat. That's completely fine.
No, I'll leave it to Lewis Hamilton. I do want to talk about Lewis. And I guess I'll do my star of the day and then I'll go into my donkey of the day. And I think because it's kind of like parallels.
It leads in.
A little bit. Lewis Hamilton, this weekend, I think after the first few races, I think a lot of people are trying to count him out. I think a lot of people are trying to, I think there are people questioning why Ferrari would sign Lewis Hamilton. And I think if you look at his performance this weekend, especially if you look at his performance in the race, he was, from the word go, I mean, even in the sprint race, the move that he pulled on the inside of the two Aston Martins was super brave. And obviously then, the work he had to do to get past Magnussen, and even the moves he pulled to get past Hulkenberg. There was another move that he did on Tsunoda, I think, where he kind of did the jinky thing, and when, did the cutback on him and then went around the outside, which was a really cool move. I just think he drove really well this weekend, and he had incredible pace. I think if the Mercedes had more straight line speed, he could have got past Perez. I think it shows how bad the Mercedes car is, that even with DRS and being within 1 second, he couldn't get past Perez on one of the longest straights of the calendar. So a lot of work for Mercedes to do there. But I guess, as Temi, we actually didn't vet you before we came on the show.
Yes, you didn't, but I thought we had vetted him.
Sometimes we get guests on.
You don't have to worry about me. I'm a year ahead. I'm a year ahead.
Are you a coon or not?
Oh, wow.
God damn.
Jesus Christ.
No, you just had to say it out loud.
Oh, no. I'm a Lewis Hamilton fan through and throughout. That is me, man. I'm only wearing this because I knew he's coming at some point, and I was like, it's a limited edition. They might not do it next year.
Nice. But Temi, you said you had him close to your top. I think driver day. I guess thoughts on his performance. He
battled, man. He really, really battled. He really drove that car well. I mean, obviously, people are going to be like, "Hey, he should have got a penalty for what he did in the sprint race," or I can also understand that, because I think that was a bit wild. That was crazy. But I think he battled, and I think it, again, like you said, it showed how bad and slow this Mercedes is. Like, he could not catch Perez. And he even said, if you got any more power, if you got anything, give it to me. I'm ready. Like, I'm ready. You could feel like he felt that kind of pump, that feeling like, if you've got it, it's hammer time, basically. So for the fact of how he performed and where he was and how well he drove, it's great. But it's also so sad to see we're battling with Hasses, man, and RBs, and you know what? The funniest thing, right, is what Lando said, and I saw it as, maybe because of this rap beef that's going on. I'm looking at subliminals all over the place, right? So Lando goes, when he says, what happened in the sprint and all this stuff, and he said, it's our fault for being in the middle, because when you're in the middle, you're around people that are going to make some erratic decisions and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, is he talking about Mercedes? Is he talking about Lewis? Is he talking about all these people that did stuff on turn one? But when you're in the middle, that's what happens. You get a you get a Magnussen that's doing all of these dirty things. You're trying to battle against Yuki Tsunoda. Why is Mercedes there? They shouldn't be there. So it's really annoying. It's really annoying to have to watch a battle and say, "Oh, that's a great battle," and it's like, we're in like 9th and 10th. What's going on?
Yeah, trust me.
What's going on?
Trust me.
Like, Lewis is walking around in like custom Marc Jacobs and whatever. Like, do you know what I mean? He's walking around like an 80s cocaine disco ball. And he doesn't deserve to be fighting with a horse. It's so horrible, man. It's ridiculous.
It's so horrible. It's horrible to witness. Horrible.
It's like, at the moment, crazy. Everyone's kind of seeing, I don't know if you guys know this, but there's been a lot of spottings of Adam Sandler in London. And
playing basketball and stuff, right?
Just playing basketball. And you're like, a lot of people are like, well, what are you doing here? Like, that's what it must be. It's like seeing Jay-Z in Coco Cure. You're not gonna see him there.
Like, it's even horrible that where they're battling so much that there's a point where Magnussen gets ahead of him. I'm like, what is the Haas doing?
Yeah.
Overtaking a Mercedes, like,
bro. When Hulkenberg got past Lewis after he got past him, after he got past him at the start, and then he's overtaking him, I said, oh my God, like. literally like, what is going on here? And I guess that brings me to my donkey of the day. My donkey of the day, I'm not going to lie to you, it is... I just want to make a point to say that Mercedes, yeah, I'm going to stick it on George a little bit,
Okay.
but I don't think it's George. And I think with Mercedes, I can't remember the last time, maybe Singapore, where both drivers had a good race, where both drivers were happy with their setup. It always seems like if one's doing well, the other one is struggling.
Yeah.
If one does one setup change, the other one can't get it set up for how they want it. McLaren bought 10 upgrades.
10
upgrades.
And Piastri had half.
Yeah, Piastri had half of that. Mercedes, I think, brought something, but not everything.
Early.
That they were going to
Early as well.
And it just does not seem like there's any progress on this car. It doesn't seem like there's a fundamental understanding of what this car needs to make it go fast. And I just find it like embarrassed. They should be embarrassed that McLaren, who buy engines off them, are literally like, what, 3, 4, 5 tenths a lap quicker in race trim? Like, that is, like, and like you say, Temi, like, cool, we can praise Lewis for these performances and whatever. Like, Mercedes being where they are and being that slow and just being, and like, I look at George's performance this weekend and like, I don't want to get at him too much because, you could say the same thing about Lewis, like, a couple of races ago, so I don't want to get at him too much, but George was nowhere this weekend. Like, absolute disappearing act this weekend. And it does feel that, I think I saw something that said, when George beats Lewis, their race pace is often quite similar. But once Lewis dials into the car, you always kind of see like this massive difference in was that you who said that?
Me?
Tandy?
No.
Was that you?
No.
Oh, okay. You put your hand up. I was like, okay. So, I thought George had a bit of a disappearing act this weekend. I think Mercedes should be embarrassed by what McLaren are doing. And I do wonder this season, honestly, like, I can't see podiums in this team unless something drastic happens. We get a crazy race. Obviously, we've had Lewis finish second in the sprint race in China. So maybe there is like a ray of hope, circuit-specific tracks. But, how many races are we into the season now? 5, 6?
6, I believe.
6 races. And, we're not incredibly...
We don't even look half scary. Not even half scary. Not even half scary.
I gave all my Mercedes merch away this weekend. Gave it to my mum.
Really?
Someone in Zim is going to be walking around with my Mercedes stuff. Don't care.
I was going to say, yeah.
I've started transitioning already, man. I've started it.
I'm just looking for the cute Ferrari pieces. Like, I want to look for the less tacky stuff, the less things that you see everybody wearing, the cuter stuff. So once I find it, might try and make a quick sub F1 t-shirt, some sort of amalgamation, something that won't get us sued, Nyasha. Something that won't get us on copyright.
I'm not enjoying today. So, I guess, Tanya, I wanted to ask you, thoughts on Mercedes and
not
George's
really much thoughts on them. I think George Russell is there. He's there until he's just not there. And when you need him to show up, he just never shows up for the team. He's kind of a very selfish driver in his way of thinking. Which actually leads me to my donkey of the day in kind of saying that George Russell is very similar to the second Red Bull driver.
Mm-hmm.
So happy you mentioned
I was going to mention him. That was mine.
The guy moves like a substitute teacher. Gets the task done, doesn't really care what's going on after, what the kids' education will be after. Substitute teacher meets freelancer, just there for the money, there for like, do you know what? When you go to these races, there's such a massive fan base for this man. So like they love him. And I don't deny that it was probably the same in Miami. Do you know what I mean? He is a beacon of hope for so many. But the exterior is beautiful, but the interior is rubbish. This is 50p chocolate from Happy Shopper. This is freaking crisps that the rats have been nibbling on. This is very bottom barrel stuff. And to be honest, we shouldn't even be having that start conversation about Lando Norris being A, B, and C in this position, because there should be another driver that's blocking the likes of Lando Norris. There should be another driver that's stopping us from saying, oh, Piastri's so amazing. There should be somebody, and he is the person who's supposed to be there. We shouldn't be having these conversations with Lando Norris being our only beacon of hope. Do you think I want to be up here talking about Lando Norris as much as I am? Of course I don't. Because there should be someone else stopping him. There should be someone else in front of all this, and yet he fails every time. I think I said at the start of the year, or like maybe at the end of the year, that I was hoping that this guy would get swapped out in the summer. I don't see that happening, and it makes me really sad. I was really hoping that his trajectory would just fall. I was hoping he would fall so hard that they would just swap him out in the summer like a thief in the night. I literally don't even see that happening anymore.
No, and I think, you know, shout out Daniel Ricciardo for his P4 on Saturday. The only respite I think we're going to get from Sergio Perez is if Daniel Ricciardo puts in more performances between now and the summer break that he did on Saturday. Unfortunately, he had Saturday and then followed it up with Sunday. So, you know, as bad as Perez is, that start.
Oh my God.
Oh my
God.
I, like, you know what, yeah, it's crazy because you almost kind of see it coming and you're like, he's not going to make that corner, is he? Like, he absolutely torpedoed himself into that move. And he nearly took out his teammate as well. That would have been so
And didn't he do it twice?
good.
Didn't he do it in the sprint as well?
Yeah, like, he did it the first time when he literally just...
Yeah. But he almost took Max out. That would have been crazy.
I would have loved to hear that Max team radio if he'd taken him out.
Goodness me. God. I think Helmut might have jumped on and would have said... Because Helmut's a bit like Trump sometimes.
That is, you know what? Helmut Marko is the F1 version of Donald Trump, isn't he? Like,
you know what he said about Mexicans?
Not a bit. You see how even more fucked up that is? And you know what? The mad thing is, Donald could have gotten that mic and said, like, I hate Mexicans, and Checo would have been like, yeah, sound. That's, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's not great. It's not great from Sergio, and I guess, but the thing is, it's like, what else is there to say that we've not already? I feel like we come in here and we kill this guy every 2 business weeks, and I actually don't know what else to say that I haven't said again and again and again, and you know,
mate, that's my donkey personally. Like, that is my donkey, because I could say Kevin Mag, but he gave me some entertainment at the end of the day. We got a bit of a battle out of him, and he just was spiraling. He was just an absolute mess. We shouldn't even be there to talk about that. But when I just look at, there was one point when I used to actually be like, nah, him and Max have different cars. They must have different cars. Like, I was one of them. I was like, he's not a horrible driver. He's actually done some good stuff at some points. And even, you know, I remember when Toto was even saying that as well, but maybe that was a bit of like, a jab to Red Bull, though. Do you know what I mean? That was like, they're doing something over there. You know, Checo's not stupid. And then I'm just looking like, why is it that he's like, to me, it should be 1 and 2 every single weekend. That's what it should be. Because at the end of the day, you have the best car on the grid. You do. You really do. And you're just not there to show up. You're not there to protect. Like, so basically, Max just does it by himself. Just like last year, he won it single-handedly by himself, even the, constructors. So it's like, you're not there at all. And you haven't been there for a long time to a point where we don't even expect it. But it's just like, it's so consistent that he's not there. It's so consistent.
It's consistently crap.
It's so bad. It's so bad. I'm done.
Actually tired of it. Like, what else? Oh,
put signs in there, man. Put signs in there. I'm for it.
You know what, George?
I'm actually happy with signs being in there.
Put signs
I don't mind.
I'll be happy with signs in there. You know why? Because he's got a backbone.
Yeah.
You think Helmut Marko could talk to Carlos Sainz?
Impossible.
You wouldn't even be able to get past Carlos Sainz Senior before that shit.
Let me tell you something about Carlos Sainz, yeah? That man is a hero. They tried to take his watch and he got that shit back. Yeah? We need to remember that.
Let me tell you something about Carlos Sainz.
He got his watch back.
Yeah, you want to take my Richie Millie? No. This guy said no.
He got that watch back.
No, and honestly, I just think, I think you make a good point, and this is, I think, Red Bull are going to look at Sergio Perez. Races like yesterday are going to show if the championship does get closer. For example, if there's a buffer between Max and Piastri or Max and Lando, then different strategies can be taken. You can you can sacrifice Perez like they did in 2021, right? But he's nowhere to be seen. Like, if Mercedes weren't so bad, he would have been behind Lewis Hamilton today.
100%.
Like that's a fact. So if Mercedes saw their car out, then we're in a situation where both Ferraris are quicker than him, potentially the McLarens. Now, there have been 1-2s and podiums this year. So I don't want to get at him. He has at some, but the fluctuation in performance, his highs are not high enough and his lows are fucking ridiculous.
Horrible.
And
do you know the funniest thing, right? When they were trying to, like, Christian Horner's like, okay, what excuse can we give Max for getting dropped 7.6 seconds? Oh, yeah. He hit the bollard and there was a bit of damage on the car. It's like, we're not even talking about we're not even talking about Perez. We're not even talking about him.
Yeah, exactly. What's Perez's excuse? Okay. Well, look. Normally at this point in time, I would read out all of your tweets that you sent us, but I forgot to do that. Probably because I was wrestling with the sick feeling in my stomach, which I have now.
I could do it more time stamps from Tandy, to be fair. You could do it some more times.
I got the whole list. I can read it.
Yeah? Fucking hell. 9:16 in Hackney, fuck me.
I came the team have been working. Come on. I love Quickstart F1. Do you guys just love Quickstart? No, because I'm not. No, because now that we know what I think, and I feel like I've said what I wanted to say,
Yeah. You feel good for it? You feel better? Are you going to read out?
I'm gonna phone Tasha and ask her a few questions later. Don't worry. Everyone gets their beaten individually.
So sorry about that, guys. I do love reading out your tweets, but I don't know what I was doing on Sunday, to be honest. So we will see. Oh no, sorry. Oh my God, sorry. Thank you to our incredible guest. I'm like, honestly, rattled. Thank you to our incredible guest, Temi. You've been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you for having me.
Let me give you your round of applause.
Yeah. Do you get to plug?
Please,
plug lovely.
Away.
Shout out to 90s Baby Show, everyone that listens. Also, Brooklyn's Corner. That's like F1 Forum. Shout out to Tommy. Gadget Boy, so we're doing that as well. You guys are inspiring us, and yeah, man.
Thank you for saying that, because there's certain people that won't say that,
really?
But we see
it. Right.
So for you to be like, we inspired that means
a lot, man. You guys are inspiring.
Really nice.
I love what you guys do.
Oh, thank you.
It's really nice.
No problem.
We're thankful. Temi, you have to come to one of our live shows.
I'm there. Wherever it is, I am there.
No, that'd be awesome. Thank you so much for being a incredible guest. Tandy, you know what? You can have a round of applause as well.
Yay.
There you go. And it's a real one as well. You thought I was going to do
I know, because last time I got the...
rude. Any last words, Tandy?
Loved seeing a lot of people I follow on Instagram at the race. Darius Butler, you looked great. That's all I have to say.
That is insane.
Nothing to do with the talent, nothing to do with the drive.
Oh my God.
Damn, she just shot her shot, boy.
I didn't shoot my shot. I'm just saying you look great.
Fair dude.
No, look, that is a very handsome man.
Mm-hmm.
What was I going to say? Yeah, no, shout out to, there was, sorry, I can't remember your name. There was someone who got their
sorry, go on.
Oh. I was just saying, there's someone who got their shirt signed by Lewis, like one of their custom shirts. I think they were the live show last year. So whoever you are, I can't remember your app, but the shirt was really cool, and to get it signed is also super cool. So congrats to you. Sorry, Tandy.
ASAP Rocky still pushing his really ugly Puma Formula One clothing line. It hasn't improved since.
Do you not like the spray-on jacket?
No.
You don't like that?
Actually, I haven't seen it. Actually. I haven't seen that one.
Let me get it up. Hold on. The Puma...
because I swear he was pushing it when we were at Austin, and I was like, oh, let me look at a few pieces. And I was like, oh, for someone...
Is that even... Natasha, could you try and find the spray-on one? There's like one that has like, it's got the stuff sprayed on it. That looked pretty cool. But other than that, yeah. I mean, it's better than the first bunch was awful.
You think? The top could have gone off a bit. Yeah, it was bad. I'm not, I was just trying to be polite.
We'll try and find it, but yeah. Look, that is just a money laundering operation, to be honest. Like,
fair enough.
I can't believe if some of that stuff is awful. Cool. Well, look, guys, we'll see you on Saturday. Me and Tasha will see you on Saturday for the Saturday show. Well done to Tasha for hosting the main show last week. Wow, was that a week ago? What I'm hosting, here we go. There's a link there, Tandy, and Temi in the chat. That's kind of hard. I quite like that.
That looks hard.
That's kind of hard. That's all right still.
That looks all right.
Yeah, it's kind of hard.
But when you guys missed it looks like it could be dirty. Never mind, sorry.
It is like that, but you know what? I kind of like that. You know what I mean? That's kind of my thing. You know what I mean? Dirty trainers guy.
Oh, you're a dirty Converse guy?
Worn.
Oh, mate, yeah, no. I can't be, but yeah. I feel embarrassed now. I shouldn't have said that.
Don't.
So, no, I've got to own it. I've got to say it.
I've never seen you wear Converses. Do you wear Reebok?
I've got Reeboks.
You just can't be a dirty white Air Forces guy. You can't. That kind of guy doesn't exist.
No.
Just let you know.
Not on my watch.
That's why I don't buy Air Forces, because I would make
Stay
them
away
dirty.
from them.
So
why don't you start wearing black Air Forces?
Well, you probably bought all of them, Tandy, the way you've been moving today.
Yeah.
Whipping feet over there for sure.
Oh my God, honestly. What I wanted to say was, if you missed Tasha's show last week, speaking of fashion, it was a great chat with Eliza Huber, who is a fashion journalist at Who What Wear, and they had a great chat about fashion and Formula One, Lewis's impact on that, and it's a pretty timeless conversation, to be honest. So
real girls chat. It was fun.
Yeah.
It was actually. I really enjoyed it. So big up Tash on that. And that's it. if you've reached this far, God, I need to remember to say this at the beginning. Like and subscribe. Give us a rating. All of that. I'm going to go somewhere, probably put some sad music on and eat some ice
Oh,
cream.
no.
And,
Get a grip. You'll be fine.
but no, thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys, for listening. Remember, no matter what life throws at you,
Keep it on the black stuff.
take care. Toodle pip. Goodbye.
Cool.
Look, mate, if you've got this far, clearly you like what we do. So here's a link to subscribe to the Quick Stop F1 family. Give that a click. And here's another link to some more cool on our channel. Sorry, cool stuff. And remember, no matter what happens, keep it on the black stuff. Click the stuff. Click the links. Click the links. Click the links. There. They're there.